Are you me, Taro? Are you crippled and thin with abundance all around you, yet you can't move? Is that a yes, Mama? Because I thought Montaro was Ian. Oh, right, Ian's in the same boat. Ian and I are both crippled, unable to move forward, even though there is abundance all around us. There's minerals and salt in those buckets. So when we sort ourselves out, will you just miraculously heal? Lick and chew. And is there any way you can drop this mirroring of us? Because we're dialing in. Well, I am, Taro. I can only speak for myself. I'm dialing into my intuition. I'm listening. I don't need you to carry this in your physical body. Your message has been received. You can now let this go. You can release it. I remove this contract, binding, vow, curse, whatever is keeping you in this state of mirroring the ones you love and care for. No, our contract is hereby. He's like, you can't break our contract. We both have to break our contract. Well, I'm asking you, can we please dissolve this contract? And I would rather you visit me in the dream time. I would rather you come to me in meditations. I really, really do not benefit from you. Well, okay, yes, I benefit from you using your physical body, but I would benefit equally from you coming to me in dreams, or in my meditation, or during my journaling, like Kaliah has done so many times. You know I listen to those ways, and you know I regularly dial in. It is not necessary for you to message me and hold and mirror this in your physical body. So whatever is within my power to do so, I hereby release you from any covenant, contract, binding, vow, curse, hex, spell, anything that has put you in this mirroring position where you take on my spiritual or emotional state, or even my physical state, and hold it up for me to see. I don't need to receive information in that way. I hereby break and return to God, Creator, Source, any covenant, commitment, contract, binding, spell, curse, vow, or anything of that nature, returning it all to God, Creator, Source, replacing it only with love and compassion. Love and compassion does not take another's pain into your own physical body and make your life painful and difficult. That is martyrdom. That is not love and compassion, and that is a false construct. It is ego-based. I ask you to release it right now and return it to God, Creator, Source. The beautiful source of peace and compassion and love and joy and all wisdom. I ask you to connect 100% to that and release this thing you've taken on. Thank you. It's going to take you some time to release it fully. How about this? I'm going to tap as I say the words. I am Montaro, tapping for Montaro. I'm Montaro, tapping for Montaro. I'm Montaro, tapping for Montaro. Releasing this vow, agreement, and all the above that have already been stated from every part of my body, mind, and soul. From my ego, from my constructs, from my spiritual ideas, releasing all now. Releasing, 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 releasing from my mind, body, and spirit. Releasing this contract covenant from all levels of my mind, body, spirit. Releasing now. And what is standing in the way of you releasing it? Because I can feel the resistance from him. What is standing in the way of you releasing this? You made a decision when you incarnated into this lifetime to help in this manner. Well, maybe you didn't have the full information about how it works down here. And so what sounded and felt like a good idea in spirit, that's right, Mama. That's what that idea looks and feels like in physical form. Yeah, you got that. Thank you, Mama. You got your message. So releasing the vow and covenant and contract that you made with your higher self. With your higher self that chose to incarnate here as for how you were going to do your work on this planet and in this incarnation. Realizing that it was not, you did not have the full information. You did not understand how it is down here. And recognizing and understanding that that was not the best choice. And you are 100% free within your sovereignty to release and return that idea, that covenant, that contract, that vow to Creator Source, surrounding yourself with only love and compassion. We do our best down here, and it is really hard. And that's where only love and compassion. There's no judgment, there's no blame, there's no shame. Releasing the vow and covenant and contract Montaro made with himself prior to this incarnation. And maybe that Montaro made with my higher self. My higher self doesn't understand what it's like down here very well either. Releasing, 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 dissolving, returning all throughout all time and space, all incarnations, every iteration of Montaro and Jeannie. Yes, returning it back to God, Creator, Source. Thank you, Mama. Returning any and all covenants made between every member of this herd and Jeannie. From the spiritual plane, the higher self who doesn't understand how third dimension Earth works. We are all allowed to have a do-over, to adjust it, to say, wow, we didn't realize what it would be like down here. We didn't realize the restrictions, the difficulties, the challenges, the limitations that exist here. We did not know. And knowing this now, we release all former contracts, covenants, commitments, vows, promises. We release and we dissolve and we return all of those between Jeannie and every member of this herd, between every member of this herd with each other. We dissolve, release, and return all of them to God, Creator, Source. With only love and compassion. There's no judgment, there's no blame, and there's no shame for any of us. There is only love and compassion and peace and joy, and so it is. So it is. So be it. Is there anything else? Is there anything else we need to address? Any other information any of us needs to know? We open to God, Creator, Source to receive that information, that light illumination at the appropriate frequency for each of us right now. Receiving, receiving, receiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Kaliah's song that she created with me one day very soon after I got her, when she just wouldn't let anybody come within 10 feet of her. And that day she allowed me to remove all the tangles from her mane as long as we sang together. And this is her song. She's in the back there. Uh-huh. Now we're just going to tone through the chakras. So it is. As humans, it doesn't matter how good our singing voice is. Toning and chanting spontaneously, intuitively, is a gift that we can share with our non-auditory singing animals, because these horses sing. They just don't sing in third dimension. But this is something that I can do for them to bring it into third dimension, to hold that space for them. So I encourage you to give that a try with your own horses, whether it's, folk songs, pop songs, humming just gently while you're meditating together, or any kind of chanting or toning. As Kaliah taught me when she first asked me to go sing to the land, there is so much we can do to change the vibration and frequency on this planet through our singing, through our voice. Hi, Posa. So that's a gift that all of us can give our loved ones. Posa says we're done. Okay. Namaste, everyone. Okay, so after this session with the herd, our little ceremony and our toning and our chakra balancing, and this had been a month now since Zora whacked the side of my head, and Ian and I we could feel the herd intensely holding space for us to work out our stuff. And because we've been married 30 years, we have 3 kids together. Like, is this really, are we at the end of the line? Was our soul agreement only for 30 years? And now it's best if we're not together, because if we stay together, it's just going to be continual strife and pain and hurting each other, and no one's going to be happy. And it's been years now that we've been trying to figure out what's going on, and COVID played a huge role in this, because Ian basically became a different person. And it was only after this session with the herd that Ian had his aha moment, and he was finally able to articulate what happened with COVID. That he was like someone with a brain injury. It's like, before COVID, he was this Ian, and after COVID, he was this other Ian. And I was like, I don't like this other Ian. I like the Ian that I married, and this one doesn't work so well for me. And he's super negative and super, like, just rage texting me all the time, and just so negative all the time. And I was like, what happened? Because Ian normally, he holds such a frequency of joy, and for like 25 years, he'd walk into a room, and within 2 minutes he had everybody in there laughing and feeling happier, and that's his natural state. So from the intense space holding of the horses, he had his come to Jesus aha moment, where he realized, when COVID happened on this planet, he saw evil for the first time. And he said, I never realized that existed. I'd never seen it. I'd never experienced it. Whereas for me, it's like, I grew up with it. So it was like no big surprise to me. But for him, it was his first encounter with what he calls evil. And he said, I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't be okay with it. And so I was just angry, and I was just like, what the like, how is this allowed? How is this happening on this planet? And he was just in resistance, and the anger of resistance, instead of going, well, I didn't know this about the earth, but here we are. There's super dark people here doing super dark things. No, this was his first personal experience, and it just knocked him into this other iteration of himself that he'd never experienced before, and he'd never been before. So as soon as he came up with that explanation, that he was finally able to realize it for himself and then explain it to me, I was like, okay, there's hope here. Because before that, I was like, it doesn't really matter what he says, because he can have as many realizations and as many, no, I want to be with you, and I'll do this and I'll do that. But he always goes back to that negative Ian. And like, until we understand how that happened and why, I'm always going to be waiting for the other shoe to drop, So that was the first huge transformation. And I don't think he could have had that realization or been able to articulate it without this intense energetic space holding that the herd, and in particular Montaro and Zora, were able to bring to our household. So that was the first big, massive thing. And then the other thing that happened maybe a couple of weeks after that realization is that Ian and I, we finally reached a place, and I said, listen, like, we need a couples counseling or we're done. Like, we just can't talk anymore. We've been talking for 4 years, nothing changes. The solution is not more talk. Like, we have to go to the energetic level. I said, I suggest we book with a tapping therapist, the acupressure tapping, because that can actually shift what's going on underneath this, because this is not logical. These are not conflicts and traumas and pain between us that can be solved with talk therapy. If they could, we would have already done it. You're not married for 25 years because you can't conflict resolve and you can't talk about your feelings. We're very fluent at that. So he finally agreed, and we booked with an EFT tapping therapist that I had worked with before. So I knew he was good. And it was a guy to, help Ian, really feel like he's getting a fair shake here. And the guy's name is Andy Bryce. He lives over in England. And that was, again, a really transformative session for both Ian and I, because Andy he apparently, I didn't know this, but for the last almost decade has focused on couples work. So we're like, how convenient. Anyway, he brought us both to a couple of really key realizations. And then after those realizations, we were finally, and, removing them through tapping, we were finally able to get some movement and basically make that decision. Are we staying together or are we not? Because, those of you who've been through marriages or divorces, that you reach a place where you're like, I just need this pain and negativity to stop. I don't even care whether I'm with you or not anymore. Just make it stop. And that's the place that, I certainly was at. I was really surrendered to, if we're not meant to be together, let's stop beating a dead horse here. Let's just get on with it. And deal with whatever pain is going to come down the pike and whatever, trauma, but let's just move forward instead of this. We were in like Groundhog Day for almost 5 years. And that's a long time to hang in there without seeing any movement and any growth and no transformation. And, so, we were able to get enough movement and enough transformation, and we made that decision. Okay, we are together, we are staying together, and we need to get a house together. And Ian's right now down on the coast looking at houses because he wants to be down where the kids are, and I'll use the ranch for my retreat, which was my original intention. And I am not joking you, within 2 days of us making that decision and committing to move forward together, Montaro ran up the mountainside, and here's the footage for you.